In this next stage, we're going to work out how we get to the end of our first draft. So this is a great time to think about time and resources. So people often talk about making time. What I like to do is work out how I like to write. I like to write first thing in the morning. I like to write in bed. So I always schedule in time first thing in the morning, even if that means I have to set the alarm and get up a little bit earlier. So work out what works best for you. Are you an early bird, or do you prefer to write at the end of the day? And put yourself at least 1 hour aside. Now, what I would often do is write for 55 minutes. If I've got a bigger space of time, write for 55 minutes, get up, move around, stretch, change state, and then come back to my writing. Other things that I do, especially if it's a weekend, is I'll write a bit and then I'll take the dogs for the walk. And then what happens is while I'm walking, different ideas come up and things start to make some sense. So work out what works for you. And you've obviously got yourself a deadline. So, if you're writing, say, 30,000 words, you might do 1,000 a day. You might do it in a shorter space of time. Only you will know, but give yourself some kind of deadline that says, I'm going to get this first draft written by this time. And to make sure I achieve that, I'm going to do this, this, and this. So you might get yourself an accountability buddy. You might, set the alarm a little bit earlier. You might do like mega write-a-thons. You might take yourself off to a cabin in the woods. Who knows? But there will be a way for you to get to the end of that first draft. Now, typically people start at the beginning. We always leave the introduction to last, and they write daily and they get through their first draft. Some people like to write random chapters and then fit it all together later on. Some people like to start at the beginning and do a chunk of it and then stop and reflect and then perhaps relook at the outline and then come back. Some people like to write a bit, edit a bit. Like I said, you'll find your way, but you need that deadline. So when I work with my clients, we meet weekly, and what often happens is that they will write a certain number of chapters and then it's time to stop and reflect, and we'll go off and do things like we'll work out the proper title of the book, we'll do the initial book cover specification, write the back blurb, and we'll do the starting bits of the lead page. So what we do is we start all of those projects, so it takes us out of writing mode, and then we come back into writing because we've had a little bit of a break. So what we want at all times is to make sure that we're still in flow and on track. So the other thing that I ask my writers to do is go back to that chapter plan, and before you write each chapter, just go through the what, why, the what, why, how, and what if, and just get that in your head and then write. Put in lots of reflection time. Remember to scribble in your journal, because ideas will come at the most strangest times of the days and night. So your action is put time in your diary, give yourself a deadline, write. Learn how to make this enjoyable, and then get to your end of your first draft and celebrate. When you get to the end of the first draft, you have to leave it, whether that's a week or a month or whatever, and then you come back, and that's when the magic starts. We bring in the editing process. So have some fun.